ama Kiambu. So you compare, mnaweza uliza hii kitu si tunalima pande hii inauzwa namna gani? The reason why sauti ya mkulima tuko hapa KENAFF ni kuwaunganisha tukue kitu kimoja kama wa Kenya na kuwa sauti moja ili tuweze kuinua mkulima ule wa chini. Sasa unaona kama tuko hapa Lake Region wote, mimi niko Migori nauzia mtu wa Eldoret, nauzia mtu wa Nakuru, namuuzia Nairobi, I'm a member of Marikiti. So tuna communicate. Middlemen hakuna vile tutawaondokea wako. So ukienda ni wanaku welcome. So kitu unafanya, una inquire. Unataka kupeleka mama yangu Marikiti. KG now is how much? So you have proper communication with the chairman of Marikiti. Na ni vizuri juane na chairman au machairman. Hata Kisumu, madam kuna chairman sula amesimamia soko. Unamuuliza soko saa hii ni bei gani? Alichaguliwa hapo Kisumu. So KENAFF sauti ya mkulima ni kusaidia yule mtu hapo chini, tukiungana ile region, tukiungana wakulima wote wa Kenya sauti ya mkulima, tutasaidia watu sana kwa networking na communication ili wakulima wale wadogo wasifanye nini. So mambo issues ya soko, I think we are from Rec region. You know Rec region we are served like tomatoes, cabbages. Kuna vitu tunaletewa hapa na kuna vitu huwezi letewa hapa. Unaona? Sasa lazima tufanye proper communication na tufanye hivi, tuungane. Wewe unalima nini, mimi nalima nini, wewe unalima nini, wewe unalima nini. And then tuangalie KENAFF kutoka huko juu. Tuwasiliane watusaidie kufanya communication mtu wa Makueni. Unaona Makueni Maembe kwa mfano, ukienda Mango Makueni ni just 1 bob ama 2 bob. Ukikuja Kisumu Mango ni 70, all 50 bob per mango. Si ni kweli? Na huko ni shilingi 2. Haya, tukuje huku tukute madamu ako na Makueni halimi hoho ama sweet potatoes ama arrowroot. So yule you communicate, muna exchange mind. So tukifanya hivyo kama wana KENAFF ama hii shida ya soko, hizi vitu mnaona changamoto hazitakuwa. Zitatusaidia sana baada ya soko. Kwa sababu kama hauna communication unatembea, hakikisha hapo umetembea Nairobi, uende Marikiti, enda Eldoret, enda Nakuru, enda Kisii, jaribu kutafuta, usilime umekaa nyumbani. Hizo vitu zitaoza, mwisho wa siku utachukia kilimo. Utaona kilimo ni mbaya na kilimo si mbaya. Kuna ule mtu hawezi fikia hizo vitu zako ama kuna mtu anahitaji hajui nayo. Jaribu kutoka tuangalie soko. Upande wa hapo KENAFF unajua ni sauti ya mkulima. Na KENAFF ni Kenya mzima 47 counties. Wamefanya mambo mengi na mambo makubwa upande wa soko. Sasa ni kutafuta mwana KENAFF bila kupali. Pigie simu. Tutajaribu kutafuta manamba 47 counties, chairmans, tunafanya proper communication itawasaidia. Middlemen unajua hatutamuondokea. Kila mahali ukienda ni kazi, unajua middlemen ni kazi kama kazi zingine. Ni wewe mkulima ujue ni bei gani. Kopea yeye kidogo yake, alafu kesho tena utamtumia vitu atakuuzia.
Thank you, welcome. Yes.
Kwa vijana kufanya agribusiness iko very expensive.
Yes.
Ili wakati kama alikuwa anafanya peanut, hiyo peanut butter iweze kufikia customer. Aweze kuitumia, amepitia changamoto nyingi. Kwanza tunaweza tia juhudi zaidi we change their mindset ili wafurahie na wajivunie kuwa wakulima. Alafu we enhance their capacities. Alafu sasa kufanya product yake irudishe pesa kwa mfuko inachukua muda sana na inakuwa kwa wingi. One challenge is the multiple taxation. Unapata KEBS iko hapa, unapata NEMA iko hapa, Kanjo wako hapa. Kama ni chakula, kwa sababu tunadili na chakula, public health pia iko hapa. Sasa unapata product moja kama hukuwa na high initial capital, unaanguka kama hata unalipa nyingi. So then how do we bring our voices together so that we bargain, tusikuwe na multiple charges? kwa product ili tupate environment nzuri ya kufikisha bidhaa zetu na iturudishie pesa kwa urahisi. Even the cost of mama amesema hapa, yeye at least aliwezeshwa, angeweza nunua freezer aweke broiler ili customer awe na haja zaidi ndio apate pesa zaidi. Na sasa kijana yule ambaye hana hata pesa ya kutafuta hata ile kula kidogo, si unaona ni changamoto. So ni vitu ambavyo tunaweza kupata hata kama ni loans ziwe zile affordable, tusiwe na masharti sana kama collateral na nini. Bado hatuna pesa ya logbook na title deed. Tunaweza pata vipi loan kwa urahisi na tuwezeshe kufanya kilimo biashara.
Thank you, Janice. You said Janice? You said Janice? Is your name? Okay, thank you. So your point is very much in order. So I want to support what Janice has said in terms of statutory deduction or maybe taxation. So we need to have a unified model of like, we don't have county government, national government, and many other coming to come and maybe maybe exploit farmers or these enterprises by asking for maybe work permits which are supposed to be paid by the farmer or this and that. So those are the things that we need to look at, and also the issue of supporting youth in terms of financing or enterprise financing. So we currently have a model like it's called Sauti ya Mkulima, where we are de-risking farmers and digitizing them through Sauti ya Mkulima platform, so that they really go into space where they are identified by credit lenders, so that farmers are highly risked, so they are not trusted by the finance or the credit lenders. So this becomes an important area to leverage from by the youth. So it will be a good point. It will strengthen KENAFF in Kisumu and your counties. Then it will also unlock opportunities for those challenges. So, Jared, we can progress. Okay. Yeah. Sure. We will do this policy so that we request for unified taxation in our brief. So we'll write that down. Thank you. Let's progress. Anyone else who would wish to contribute? We go to food security and nutrition. So in food security, you can progress.
I would like to add something on value addition. Before, people used to go to Europe, they would really crave for vegetables from Kenya, and we could buy those vegetables and send to them. But now, here in the case that our vegetables are getting spoiled because of the market, and also other foodstuffs like the horns. But now what can really help us is community-based food trying centers, because on an individual level we may not be able to, because of the funding or because of the capital to build a greenhouse or a food drying center. It's really expensive, and also the authorities have the tapings on them. We will I will suggest to the government also to support farmers to build community-based food drying centers, so that they can be able to dry their products there, and also make them to have more value to have more value instead of being wasted in the shambles.
Thank you. I think that is a good point. We have the ESP markets coming. I think the government is trying to solve that issue, but we need also to see which are the value chains that this market will support, because I know it will contain all those things, but Kisumu, I don't know if it is there. Okay. For Kisumu, is it currently own the ESP market? Okay. And many other counties, so we will also still leverage on that one. So we progress to food security and nutrition. So the main argument here is food shortages and post-harvest losses, indigenous crops and seed access, household food security strategies. For you not to sleep hungry, what do you do? Maybe to ensure that you have adequate food security. Number two is that for you to make maybe quality production and or with high quantity or with high yields, where do you get certified seeds? That's a question. Food shortage and post-harvest losses. Why do we produce and we also destroy them through the losses after the harvest? So it means we need to look for post-harvest solutions. So to ensure that we don't have food loss and food wastage. So maybe we can discuss how do we get the indigenous crops or seeds, and how do we access maybe these seeds also that are given by the government, like Kenya Seed and the other competitors like the Advanda and Simlo and the rest. So where do you get these ones? These seeds that we will be investing in our farms. Yes?
First of all, as farmers, if you want our country to be food secure, you have to be food secure in your own home first. You should be an example. So with food security, so you have to be a good example, and we should advocate for nutritious food by doing good management practices. Those good management practices involves what do we look for? Certified seeds. You know, some people go for this local all the time. So year in, year out, you complain. So you go for certified seeds, but the problem also is with those other vets, you get the seeds that are not qualified. Maybe some have expired, so you cannot get good results. And then when it comes to managing your farm, you should also, for you to we have good nutrition, the good management practices, we leave this commercial the fertilizers. We do, what do we call them? Yes, organic. That is why in Kisumu, me and Kara, we are in a group food systems strategy systems. So there's a policy document for the Kisumu County. So we advocate for food secure and then a good nutrition. For good nutrition, we should advocate for the good management practices. Otherwise, we'll go wrong. We can get good quantity, but at the end of the day, our people end up not being healthy because of the standards.
Thank you. Anyone else?
We have to talk about dried
Yes.
vegetables.
Thank you.
Yeah, afternoon again.
Afternoon.
During rainy seasons, we normally tend to have a lot of vegetables, but they get wasted. And sometimes kunde is dry just in the shambas. There's a way we can preserve our vegetables and they still remain nutritious. Kunde, you can just get it from the garden, dry it a little bit, not in a very high sunny area. But once they are dried, you can keep them and they can be used during dry spells of weather when there's no rain. And it's not just kunde, any other vegetable. I just want to say that there are times that until you lose something, you won't know its benefits. Once we lived outside this country and we could really yearn for kunde, we could really yearn for omena, we could really yearn for those small things that we thought, those are things for just common people. So omena you can also deep fry it and you make sure it stays longer and it's still nutritious. So ways of preservation of food, very important in food security. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we can progress to youth in agriculture.
Before we progress, allow me to ask this question. Now that we are talking about food security, you have heard from the news that some parts of Kenya, there is hunger. Do you really believe that the problem we have is that of lack of food in our country? Do you believe so? I have made an observation, and especially during the certain seasons like you are talking about, when there is plenty of harvest. Say a certain, let me even not go very far. Here you are talking of lack of market. How are you lacking market? You have food that goes into waste, whereas we hear certain parts of Kenya have no food. People are dying. Why is it so? In one region, you have, I don't know, the media calls it, I don't know, glut. It's too much of it until it is going to spoil. In other regions, nothing. Then we say we are not food secure. I think that is a lie to me.
Lack of structured market.
Structured market, that is one. Number two,
High cost of transport.
high cost of transport, perhaps because of low economies of scale. Lack of communication.
Lack of sensitization on value addition.
Good. Value addition, preservation, and the food distribution. That is our problem. That is the whole market problem. Because you have a lot of it here, you have it in low quantities, you cannot, for example, transport it to Garissa where it is needed. And that is now what we are saying when we invest in farmer organizations, when we come together as a group, we are able to aggregate this product. Kama ni njugu, tunajua hapa Kisumu tutatoa several tons, lori kadhaa miguu 10 iende Mombasa ama iende mahali ingine. But as long as I am the only one who has this produce, sitatoa gunia 3 hapa nipeleke Mombasa. It will not make an economic sense. Sawa. So when we talk of food security, and we are talking about value addition, we are talking about preservation. She has put it rightly well. When you have a lot of vegetables, like now I heard people in Eldoret yesterday, one tomato is costing 20 bob. Is that so?
Yes.
Because sababu there is a shortage. But kila mahali. Wewe si Eldoret peke yake. And a few months ago, it was costing less than 3 shillings.
50 shillings per kg.
2 kg. Na that time, zilikuwa zinaoza kila mahali. So who is to blame? You cannot blame God. Mungu alitupea chakula, we wasted. Ama namna gani? Thank you.
Thank you very much, engineer. We progress. I don't know what is happening here again.
I think we have a problem with this.
sort out this. Yeah, thank you. So we were discussing that aspect of food security and nutrition, and it is very interesting because we find that at places they don't have food while we are disposing what we have in excess. So it is very interesting. So the issue of post-harvest losses is real, and the solution is that we need to be very conversant about the solutions, because we don't have, like now, if you harvest maize, let's assume it is an acre of a farm, and then you have like 30 bags, and you can only use maybe for a year 10 bags, and you don't have market, where do you store the rest? That's a question. For them to be consumed in the subsequent year. Let's assume you are not selling, you don't have market. It is just for subsistence, for consumption. You don't know. Because if you just store in the normal, you call granary or the colors, they will be consumed by the weevils. Is it true? So assuming now it is consumed by the weevils, what is the solution to this weevil? Even if like, yes, let's assume we are going to store there. Yes, what is the solution? You put chemicals? Yes?
We normally buy some bags from Agrovec.
Called?
I don't know the name, but they could be having some chemicals.
Yes.
Inside their polythene bags. So when you put it in, it preserves for a number of months.
Good. That means you have a solution. I was looking for that solution. That bag is called hermetic bag, and that hermetic bag doesn't have chemicals. It has 2 layers and the outer layer, so it can store up to 105 kgs in a single bag. So meaning you can store those maize for 15 years in that hermetic bag. It is very strong. It cannot be grain bordered by the grain borders and the weevils. So that is another solution for now storing maize and beans. You can combine all of them inside. You can put in different sacks and store them if they are less than 105 kg. So, but then you can still buy many. They are very cheap. They are at 250 shillings. So meaning, if you can buy 3 or 5, you can still have food security, or you can store your seeds if you want to multiply your seeds. So those are the solutions we are talking about post-harvest losses. If it is in maybe dairy sector, you have to harvest, like, you don't have to wait for your napier grass to be consumed by the cows until now you start cutting all of them. You can cut all of them at once and store them in silage bags. Is it true? And then you wait for the second harvest uniformly. You don't have to be like, let me cut a section and then I continue, because cows are consuming sections every day. You will not have food security, because by the time the cows are consuming the last bit of the farm, they are overgrown. They cannot be consumed in totality, because there will be a lot of wastage. Number 2, you have occupied the land. The land should have been in the second, third maturity of the feeds. Meaning, if you have, like now, hay, for example, if you harvest hay, like, and you cut the hay in pits, like the cows consume the way they are, it will take forever and it will go to loss. But hay is normally cut, all of them. You make them into bundles. You take them to the store. That is why they say make hay while the sun shines, because when it is raining, you will not store them. So that is a point that you have to consider in terms of food security. So another thing is, we are going now to youth in agriculture. Youth in agriculture is a very interesting topic. Youth have been suffering in the sector, because, you know, when we were growing up, we were told that we used to see in the books, like, I read a comprehensive English in primary school, that a doctor was drawn in a picture wearing a very good, clean apron, but the farmer was very, very shaggy. So youth did not like kabisa, walisema huyu hapana, hatutaki mkulima, tunataka kuwa pilot, tunataka kuwa daktari. Na saa hii sasa ndio wako hapo, hawana choice, wako hapo. Na sisi hao vijana sasa hatuna shamba. Wazee wamesema hawataki kutupatia title deed, hawataki ukue mkulima, wanataka ukue pilot, wanakutuma Nairobi. Hataki kukupea share, yeye anasema shamba ni yake. Na wewe ulisoma, wewe enda tafuta kazi. Ukienda kutafuta kazi haupati kazi. Wewe unakaa Nairobi, unaenda huko Mguru kwa Njenga na huko kwa Ruben. Unakaa huko kwa slums huko. Ukisikia kuna maandamano ndio unatokea, unatoa stress kidogo. But sasa anajui unateseka pale town. Badala ya kukumotivate na kukuempower na kuencourage uingie shamba, fanye production, fanye value addition, use products, ukuwe na pesa. So I think the problem is within the parents, but I don't know. It is you who knows the problem, because parents should empower their children so that they know also farming is a profession where they can enter into and also they can succeed. Is it that making sense for you? Maybe. Let us discuss now. I don't know. It is open plenary session, so I was just challenging you. I don't know if it is youth or parents.
Okay, just a little housekeeping. We are running out of time. It is already part 1, so we have to really move with the speed. 2 minutes each. 2 minutes.
Yes,
each,
yes.
So that we finish up.
Yeah. So we will go to women after this. So let's talk a bit of youth.
Okay, youth have got a perception in agriculture that farming is meant for old people.
Yes.
And if you farm, there's nothing that you can get. So that is a problem that you've identified. What we need to do actually is to feed them the information, the enough information that farming is the backbone of everything in the current society.
Yes.
Yeah. Another thing that you use lack is maybe the cost to start up agricultural business and
Yes.
production. So if we can, because they don't have any collateral that they're owning,
Exactly.
so they can go and access loan to do in their farm. So I think we can have this information to them, like we have other circles that can provide them with the grants to start up their agriculture.
Thank you. Yes.
The simple way is saying that youth, we don't like farming, and I like the fact that you said that we lack capital. And imagine me going to my elder, millennials and above, that I need capital. What will they think? Their first thought. Jana Tenda na the perspectives of our elders to youth when we need capital. Those are the things that make us think, I need my peace of mind. I don't need to be judged that I intend and I will. What are you farming?
You will rather go for boda.
Okay. Yes.
Even the community that our parents are coming from,
Yes.
they judge our parents harshly, such that mtoto wako akikuwa nyumbani ati yeye ni farmer, wewe mzazi mwenyewe, how do you feel?
Yeah.
Right? So the expectation from the community, then the expectation from the parents. So we end up having the burden. But besides that, there are many efforts that have been put in place to change the perception of the young people into agriculture. But I always say that some of these efforts zinadanganya youth. Ukiambia youth farming ni cool, you know, in a way you're telling them that there is no hard work in that space. Then they get in and they realize that you really need to, hakuna kitu rahisi. So even as we tell them to change their perception and come and cross this other side, we tell them the truth, what it entails, so that they come ready. They really come ready, knowing that they're coming to build the nation. And it really requires them to wakunje their gloves, their sleeves, sorry. Then another thing is what we call tokenism. How stakeholders look at the young people, how they take the young people, so that if there are very important engagements, discussions, for example, around policies and strategies, then they are brought so that ionekane kuna numbers. For example, if I'm to ask how many young people are here, we easily carry up our hands and wanaandika, wanajaza, there were young people present in that engagement. So we need to move away from that and have young people as strategic partners on board, wale wamesomea, wale wako na maarifa in this field, so that we are considered as co-creators of solutions. We are considered as co-innovators to these challenges that we are facing. So partner with the young people, give them meaningful room to contribute in meaningful conversations. This is the way KENAFF is doing right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me ask a question. Remind me again.
Janice.
Janice.
Yeah.
Janice, do you think that we are winning our youth to farming? Now, with the perception that farming is for the age, the expectation of the community, because even parents educate their children to be teachers, policemen, doctors, engineers. I have not heard of a parent who tells the son or daughter go to school so that they can become a farmer. Even those who become farmers eventually, maybe find themselves there. Because
Afterthought.
Yeah, because we want them to be engineers, doctors, cynical.
Yeah.
Now, how are we going to win this war? Because at least we know for us to do farming in a better way, there has to be progression. There have to be people taking over from us. Now, because you have been a youth leader, do you think we are winning them to agriculture?
He has answered that.
Okay,
In terms of changing the perception of the youth, we are. But what happens after the perception has changed? And they don't have the capacity, they don't have the starting capital, they don't have ABCD. What happens? Yes, we are changing their perception. We are showcasing success stories. They are motivated and encouraged. I think now we need to change the perception of the parents and the community and the investors, so that we get financing models that are youth specific, so that our parents are able to look at us as partners. They allow us to work with them on their farm for that, smooth transition. They win our trust. We change the perception of the community so that they look at young farmers who have decided to go back to the community, to transform their community as professionals and valuable people. Yes.
Thank you, Janice. I really concur with you. Where I come, I don't know where you come, what you think. If you go to school, you go through university, and you go to farming, they see you as a failure. Wanaona wewe ulisoma sasa umekuja tung'ang'ane hapa kwa shamba. So wanakuona wewe kama failure. So yeah, I agree with you when you say the perception change not only for the youth, but even for the people, the homes where we come from. Right?
I also take this aspect of patience. Farming, returns from farming does not come. Our current generation is a microwave generation where everything happens. So we also need to really work on the patience. Returns from farming are not seen immediately, but when it comes, it is so bumper that sometimes you can't believe. So apart from encouraging them in patience, but we also have several examples. We have several young people who have gone into farming and succeeded. So many times, I think we need to refer to success stories.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Yone.
Pamela.
Pamela, thank you.
Yeah.
You've given us a good term here. Microwave generation. Did you hear that?
Yeah, sure.
Quick fixing.
Yeah.
You want to get very rich. Now, the people are
That's
very
why they would
well.
rather go border
Yes.
than go farming, because border you get what you have.
Yeah, true. Maybe before we go to Jared, truth be told, this is a generation which is actually which is called tech survey. They are going to AI, they have passed technology. So meaning that this technology, they can support our parents by innovating ways of maybe value adding what their parents have been doing over and over again over the years. Like now, I saw Caroline doing something in terms of she code. You are doing value addition for the
vegetables, for the
peanut,
for the millet.
millet.
We have she called composite flour.
Yes, composite flour. Yes,
For children 6 months plus.
yes,
The age and the sequels.
yes.
Yeah.
So meaning that is a value addition solution that youth can easily leverage on. It is just a matter of supporting your parent, like you make your own markup. Tell your parent, rather than selling 2 tins of maybe wheat flour or millet, let me do that like this, buy this, and I will do value addition. They will buy because it will be easy to market and people will be coming to purchase because you have already incorporated a valuable aspect like nasikianga kwa maziwa ya kuna kefir kwa maziwa ya mbuzi kuna this and that for value addition, cheese, butter and the rest. So you can still do value addition and get solutions on market access. That is how I see things happening currently in Nairobi. Value addition products are there. Thank you, engineer.
Okay, thank you very much, Bonano, and everyone who has contributed. Again, we have to move to the scheme.
Yes.
What you are saying here is that we can encourage our youth to enter this space through the technological route. Like for example, the maize farm, you do farming, maize farming here. How many bags do you produce per acre on average? You get to that bag. You're already doing well, but you're not yet there. Yeah, you're doing well. Because in most places, you find people getting 8 or 10 marks. But there are those who are getting 50 plus. They are there, yes. They are there. They are there. So that you are halfway there. So there is an opportunity. And this is where we are talking, of future fields. Investing in farm organizations, investing in capacity building, including youth with their youthfulness, their technological, all these things, bring them together to increase productivity, to increase our efficiencies, because you cannot extend the land size. We said it is already under pressure. You have to use what is available, but then improve your productivity. If you are getting 80 bags of maize per acre, get to 30. From 30, don't stop there. Don't think you have arrived. You can get to 50 plus.
Thank you, engineer.
So
we are winding.
Now to women, then
we are winding. Yeah, I'm concluding. So I was saying also in that point as we conclude, like I saw Caroline also doing things like kitchen garden. You develop that round conical kitchen garden for a few farmers in your neighborhood. That is also value addition. Rather than them all consuming the whole land with planting maybe what we call sukuma wiki and the rest, which is not economically, it is not sustainable because you cannot manage them well, you cannot give them manure well, and it is not productive. Maybe Caroline, you will say something small about that, just to advise most of us.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, on food security, we also do conical gardens. So these conical gardens and vertical gardens, we make use of the available materials. Like maybe if you had a bucket or a sack, you can use the sack and the bucket to plant vegetables. And from that conical garden, maybe one harvesting, you can get even 200 shillings as per one conical garden, because you will plant it and after 2 months, it will have already given you some harvest.
and you will use a minimum space, and you will also use little water in terms of irrigating the vertical garden. And we also use things like hanging gardens. Even if you have things like bottles or jerrycans, you mount it there, you plant things like, what do we call, dania?
Coriander.
Dania, coriander. You plant coriander, you plant onions. So if you use the vertical gardens, you get food, use the food secure, in that you get fresh food for your daily consumption, and you also sell. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So you can see Caroline, she's not a Gen Z, but she's innovative.
Listen, like in my home,
Yes.
it's only 1.5 acres. That is the homestead. That is where I have 2 fish ponds. That is where I have dairy. That is where I have the poultry. That is where another section,
Yes.
conical garden,
Mm.
the other side. So everything is inside the
It's inside.
So you be food secure first.
Yeah. Kilimo recheshi. It's called regenerative agriculture, where you get the cow dung, take the cow dung to the shamba, then the waste from the poultry goes to the fish, and that agroecology now becomes sustainability of food security. Thank you. So we go to women in agriculture, and then what are the challenges which most of the women face within this agricultural space? We can contribute maybe faster. Women, where do we have to leverage more to support women? Amwezi jitetea. Mko na land? Sawa.
Yeah, most women don't have land of their own, and sometimes they have to seek help. What do you call it? You have to get a rubber stamp for you to use that land for what you want. You can't use somebody's land to do what you want. So I think that is one very big challenge that women farmers have. The husband has to certify that maize can be planted.
But I thought when you are married, you are one. You say you are one person.
Thank you that you thought.
Yeah.
Well,
Kila mtu ako uwanja wake. Okay, thank you. Why now? And you that is interesting now.
There are those who have that even with the current age.
Why are the men now protective?
You are more right.
What's the problem?
Then that is gender determined.
They feel insecure.
The men are here, they can tell us how they are
Yeah,
going to change that.
men can tell us. Do you have that kind of thing? Me, I don't have. We are sharing.
You know, what I know with, I think if you have a mother who is a farmer, and you are a youth, and you are a man, for you to own a land in that home, you must also have a wife. I know that. We have another perspective that you must have a wife, family first, to own a land.
You must have a wife.
You must have a wife and family to own a land. If you don't have that, yes, unafanyia nini? Bado kijana mdogo.
So as a perspective of a youth now, you must get to become a family man first. And then what about the wife now? Your wife, will she have the right to use your land when you are given?
Yeah, that person will be given.
Yeah.
You will use that with your wife.
But they are saying different things here. They are saying it is not the case. If you have been given, then you say, no, you don't have freedom. Yeah, it is budgeted for. don't touch the land. So if you want to plant maybe some few things there and there as a woman, the man says it is budgeted for, don't go there. Is it true?
Yes.
You have to be romantic. That means you have the key. You have the key. Okay. Thank you.
Ladies, a woman can be a very good farmer.
Yes.
I can be working very hard.
Mm.
Then after working so hard and you get the produce, you will not have the right for the produce because they will say that the land is for the men. You don't have the right for that land. So when you start selling, the money will begin.
So what is the solution? You don't go to the farm and then you expect them to.
Yeah.
You just sit there.
You don't even come to the farm.
You lie low and be an assistant.
You become a deputy governor because the deputy governors are not doing anything.
Again, the truth of the matter is the women and the farmer.
Yeah.
Ndio wanafanya kazi.
Yes.
Kazi mingi. Now, do you still think there is a potential to be unlocked if you have the right to own and control land? Because what you don't have is the ownership right, but the use, you farm. Do you think there is still potential to be unlocked for growth? Because as it is, you do farming. Mimi sijaona mtu amekatazwa kulima na nimeona wamama ndio wanalima. Hata ng'ombe ndio wanashughulika kukamua.
But engineer, they say.
Sometimes wazee are not even there.
Engineer.
Yes.
Engineer.
Yes.
They said the end results become the man. The end result is not there. Like the milk.
Okay, now because the end results now goes to the man. What do you think can be improved if the end results is changed and comes
channeled to you?
And it is channeled to you.
Yes.
And how do we get there?
Yeah, maybe you can.
I just want to add salt to the injury. Women who are widowed are even worse. So even as we drown our minds, it's also.
Let's look for yeah.
As it all does it become worse and they have no source now to get the produce?
The laws and then now start telling you. Actually, your supervisors become more when your husband dies. At least Akiwa is the only one you are answering. But as soon as he dies, it becomes community property.
What of those who, like, for example, let me use the case now. If your father is like lenient and says like, I share the land to all my children, regardless of the gender, and then you have your own piece of land. Are they productive? Those women who have been maybe allocated land by their fathers, and they are not married.
Now that one is worse. that one.
Yes.
Please don't continue adding salt to injury. Let's get solutions. Let's see how we move forward.
Cultural expectations. Women are expected to leave their homes and go elsewhere.
Yeah.
So even if your father is lenient enough to give you a piece, your brothers and cousins will not expect you to stay there. Yes.
But you farm your land, you can make production there. It's not necessarily you stay there.
They may make it difficult for you.
Oh, they sabotage.
Like, the saying, these women who are here,
Yes.
are going to farm in their home.
Yes.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, I think we are closing up this conversation. It is a very nimwecheche. Ama wanasemanga nini hao watu wa Gen Z siku hizi. So I think we are coming to a close. We have not touched the agroecology and regenerative, but next time.
No,
And also,
before we close this thing on women in agriculture,
yes.
what do you think is the way forward, especially for the woman farmers in the Lake region?
You don't have solution for yourself?
Or proposed solutions, suggestions? Because we really have to move. We really have to change the way we are doing things. And that is why we are here, not to endorse what has been happening and be comfortable with it. Yes.
Women empowerment, especially in the some responsibility, because ikiwa ngumu sana, you can even buy your own piece of land. Yes, and do what you want to do.
Or contract farming.
Yes, on hire. But women who have not been empowered have their hands totally tied. Yes, they have to go by what is expected of them.
Okay. So empowering of women. Another one?
We could have KENAFF
Mhm.
partner with lawyers or legal entities to train women leaders as paralegals, so that they go back to their communities and empower the women there. They understand their land rights, but work hand in hand with the local authority. Here in this case we have the heads of households, the husbands, the chief, the church, so that this thing is really owned in the community. Ndio hao wanawake wakubalike, even if they're widows, it is in the public knowledge that they have room to continue making their land productive.
Thank you. So you said we have who?
Sorry?
You started by saying we have who? KENAFF?
We can have, I said we have KENAFF.
Now, my point was, like, I caught that one. Now, we say we as KENAFF, because you are a member yourself.
Yes.
And you are a youth representative here. So say we, because you are part and parcel of the hook. I said initially, we have to own KENAFF. Yes. So you, because you have that point, I'll propose that you come to the GA yourself. I don't know if Caroline will consider the youth. Then, because that point, yeah, you can progress engineer.
Are they also prohibited from value addition? Like if you want to do value addition on agricultural produce, are you prohibited from trading with agricultural produce? So then it is a small problem. Just being denied the right to use land. Just being, when do you want to own the land? If you can use it and get produce and add the value.
Yes.
I don't know. See,
And I think it is also important to empower the men.
Yes.
Empower them to appreciate that if they empower the women, they stand to gain. So if the men can be brought on the side of the women, because it's usually them who are the barriers. And men all over, it doesn't matter whether it is the husband or the community or whatever, but they just need to give the women the space, because the woman will not run away with those things. It is actually meant to be the men most of the time. So if the men can be empowered.
I think engineer, you know, women can change, but the men can grip on the women more, because they send the women to the church, they send them to the empowerment forums, and they go there, they block what they want to implement. They have information, but they cannot implement. Yeah.
Okay, me, I just wanted, okay, first of all, I'm called Beatrice from Kisumu. I do poultry keeping. So me, I just want to say that as much as we are saying that women have no right, maybe ukishalima products ya wazee, not all women. We should tunastahili tutoe that perspective ya kwamba, because there are those women, they have that land, they don't want hard work, they like easy, yenye inakuja rahisi. Kuna wale wana depend on men, there's land just idle there. So we shall just say, women, telling them that even farming is a source of employment, even farming can generate food and income to their family, so that they make use of those lands. Because not all women are restricted, not all women are being prohibited from using that land. Kuna wale wenye wanazuiliwa, lakini kuna wale iko, but they don't want to make good use of it. So women make good use of their valuable
They are writing, they are blanketing themselves, in the whole thing.
I just wanted to add that we encourage women to stop
stop being in the barazas. Ile ya kukaa asubuhi, kuna shamba lakini anataka akae asubuhi apige story na kuota juu. So she can make use of the little space that she has to make that farm be productive.
Thank you. Development then.
Okay. I think this is a problem created by women, and then they go out publicly cry. Look at, for example, you are a woman, you have been given an opportunity to take maybe 1 acre piece of land. And then you did very well. During the process, you are doing duty. And then when the production time comes, the profit time, you find that you are now you've now remembered the parents. You now remember your parents back at home, leaving everything here to a man. So that is the fear we have with these women. They tend to love their parents more than what they really. So
they become compassionate.
Yeah, they become compassionate. That is why we deny them some of their right in the land.
You grip on them. I see the reason why you are crippling them. So I think we are closing, by the way. Any question there? So far, so good? No question. We have to...
Maybe before we close, allow me to say that this is a perceived problem. It is not as serious as it is meant to look. Yeah, it is not that serious. Yes. Because the only threat I see is when it comes to, say, maybe assessing finances and when you require a collateral. That is where there is a bigger problem. But generally, si tunaishi hizi nyumbani, hakuna shida kubwa namna hiyo tunataka ikae. Si ni kweli? Yes. Na sasa watu hawache kuwa lazy, kujificha under lack of rights to own land. Exactly. Because we have also been told, and the women who are here are empowered. Tumeambiwa empowered women can even buy their own piece of land. Unaweza fanya biashara, ununue shamba, zinauzwa kila mahali. Si ndio? So wachana na excuses. We must go forward.
Stop lamenting.
The women in the Lake region, the youth in the Lake region must go forward. Watch it, other youth, they are doing business and they are buying land. You can lease, you don't have to buy. You can also contract lease farm. The farm. So we can move.
Yes. Yes.
Is whatever we are consuming safe with all the inputs in terms of pesticides and insecticides that are used to curb diseases and pests? With Mama said microwave mindset, that as a farmer I really want to make quick money out of it, so that now we see fruits being sprayed to change their color. We are seeing everywhere waste from the pesticide containers. Our kids are interacting with them. They are all over polluting the environment. So the big question is, even as we're talking about food and nutrition security, are we really safe?
I think that is a point where we need to embrace discipline, because we cannot run away from that. That means we need to spray our cows, because if we don't spray them, they will die. Eventually, the buck stops at the farmer, because you are the consumer of these things. You have to embrace discipline. Anything uncontrolled or anything without discipline is a disaster. So meaning, if you just go and spray and draw the leader out anyhow, your child will come there. I was telling farmers, by the way, sometimes that you can say, I want to spray an acre of farm, the cabbage farm, with maybe insecticide. And then the following day you find market. It has not reached a day where you have to cut the cabbages, because the insecticides are still active. So what you sell them immediately, not knowing that it is harmful to the consumers. Now that is lack of discipline from the farmer's perspective, because hii imesemekana inachukua muda fulani. Ni kama ile ya kudeworm ng'ombe, unaambiwa you withdraw milk for some days. Then you milk and you sell to your neighbor. That is not being disciplined. So the buck stops at the farmer. When you sell, your child will be consuming those cabbages in school. And you will also go and consume in the hotel because you have money. You don't want to eat the local kibandaskis than at home. So meaning, what you would do is stop at you and you are the final victim as well. Everything that you do must come back to you because you will not be off the hook because you are the one who is doing that. In one way or the other, you must be a victim. So I think the issue of food the safety of those things is all about discipline. We cannot run away like the way you said. We cannot be organic. Just let we become organic farmers. We have to spray. We have to use chemical fertilizer. But how do we use them? And how do we control ourselves? So meaning, it is very hard for the government to regulate those things. Because we are a competitive nation, like GMO will eventually be flooding everywhere at the long run. We don't have to run away. The economy is, the population is increasing, and we don't have food security. So the only way is to do GMO. So meaning, it's all about us using the right things. Wewe unasema wacha nitengeneze yangu hapa kitchen garden, niweke manure ya mbuzi, lakini wewe unauzia wengine huko nje yenye ucha follow the due process yenye imewekwa. Ni kama ununue cigarette na unaona smoking is harmful to your health and maybe some other things, but you still take. Sometimes it is very difficult to, like, these things have been given to you, but you don't have a reason to be disciplined. But anyway, those things are harmful to our lives, but then eventually we find ourselves there. Anyway, food safety is very important. We need to also still strengthen regulation and policies. So my next point was policy, agricultural financing and insurance, policy governance and representation. And then there was one called policy governance and representation, and then rural infrastructure development. So meaning roads from the farm to the market also affect our sustainability in farming space because we end up spending more in transport and considering the income. So some other things I think this government and some other things is us as the farmers. So as I wind up, let me just say it has been a good discussion. There is a quote that says farmers are not poor, neither are they victims of handouts, but they are rich and respected people in the society. Is it true? Why are you now? Why do we perceive that farmers are poor and they only depend on handouts? Why do we perceive outside? And then you are saying you are very rich and you are respected people.
Because we have to sign our hands.
Yes, you have to be.
So you don't look very neat.
Oh, so the perception is that you are they don't like this uchafu ya mkulima. So they say you are poor, but you are rich, si ndio? Okay, so najua nitaenda nyumbani leo na pesa. Nataka kuanza kuokota. Si mmesema nyinyi ni matajiri? Mbona mmeshtuka? Anyway, I don't know. I will not go there. I know the reason. Anyway, so let me just say it has been good in a plenary session where we discussed. So someone to maybe make a closing remark in this session, and then I welcome engineer. Someone to close and to inaitwa cutting cross issues. Ile yenye summarize kidogo tu nasema tulitouch hii na hii in a minute. Cross-cutting issues, yani ile yenye unasema you summarize all of them in a minute. And maybe pale tulisahau kidogo. Janice, you look prepared, you can take over. Engineer, I welcome you after that person who is prepared to cross-cut. I rest my case there.
Yes. Thank you very much for the session. I wanted to, this is just a quotation from KENAFF. I think this one is covering almost all the counties represented here. We have problem, as much as we are farmers and we are trying our level of best, we don't have goodwill from our county governments, especially the Department of Agriculture. You find agriculture covers a very big area. The directorates, livestock, fisheries, blue economy, and the rest. So when it comes to maybe the agriculture department, we are not adequately being looked into, in the sense that, like forums, this one is now purely farmers. But when the county governments are given the opportunity, maybe the governor or the minister, you find a forum like this. When you go, you just find county government officers and maybe one or two farmers. So that one is it's a cutting issue we should look into. And then we are just struggling ourselves, because nowadays they say it is, in case you have a problem as a farmer and our officers, it is demand driven. So, and the officers are very few. So, if through, I think the problem only came when the agriculture was devolved. It's all started from there. So, if maybe from the ministry, if a directive comes to the governor or to the minister from the head office, it can be very effective. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that observation. You are on the record. Kwa hivyo governor amesikia. Na wale wengine wanahusika. Anyway, what we are saying is the purpose for which we are here is because of such issues and others. Because you cannot pretend to be having meetings to discuss farmers' issues without them getting involved in the boardroom. And that is one of the problems that has been identified in the farming communities. For example, when you receive fertilizer subsidies, blanket recommendations, without knowing the specific regional requirements, it will not directly result to productivity until you have given your real needs. You are able to say our problem in this region, for example, is acidity, so that we give you what addresses the acidity issue. So, I want to say thank you very much for your coming and for your participation. This has been the best meeting I have attended, and the third one, actually. We were in Eldoret yesterday. We were in Nakuru last week. And allow me to say that Kisumu has got more women farmers than those other meetings that I attended. That tells me...
Not only Kisumu.
Nyanza region. Oh, good. Is it true, Bonenok?
Yes, I can confirm.
Yeah, in Eldoret they were very few. In a meeting. Yeah, men were majority. Yeah, in Eldoret and in Nakuru. So, I want to congratulate you. And like we said, that problem of land ownership, you have risen above that. You have refused to be put down by that small thing. And you are empowered. I want to encourage you. The things that we have discussed here, let us keep those conversations ongoing. Let us keep those conversations ongoing. Mzee there told us, food security, you must take personal initiative. You begin at your household level so that you become a good example to your neighbors. And you know, even God wants us to shine that light so that men see your light. Now I want to challenge you, because our Farmers General Assembly theme is investing in farmers' organizations. I want to challenge you. That one thing that you are doing alone, Why don't you bring in 10 more people to do it? So that together you can build that power, that synergy, so that you are able to address your issues commonly in a better way, ndio? Ama namna gani? Tulete wengine waanze kufanya ile vitu. Kama unafanya portrait, wache kufanya portrait peke yako, show someone else, lift someone else. Na ukiona zimeanza kufa, wache kusema wache ikufe, a learning lesson. No, muonyeshe how you did it, so that asianguke kwa shimo, so that you make it also interesting for them. Ama namna gani? Ndio tuweze kusonga mbele pamoja. So I am very grateful. I thank you for your contribution, fearless contributions. Sawa sawa? Tukiendelea hivyo tutakuwa sawa. Tukiendelea hivyo tutakuwa sawa. Wahenga walisema umoja ni nguvu. Aha, good. Aha, umoja ni nguvu, utengano ni udhaifu. Na mkienda nyumbani musome ile scripture niliwapea. Soma chapter 11 of Genesis. Uone vile wale watu waliungana pamoja wakitaka kujenga munara na wakajenga, na vile Mungu alisema chochote wanapanga kufanya wataweza kufanya kwa sababu they are speaking one language. As farmers, if we speak one voice, hatutashindwa. If we speak one voice, ile tumeambiwa ati there is no good will of the county government or whatever government, we are able to succeed. We are able to break that barrier. Sawa sawa? Now, with that, we came here for a consultative meeting so that we come up with a voice of the Lake Region farmers. And for sure, that voice has been produced. Now, after clapping, we want to endorse it. You have already produced the voice, now we want to endorse it. And you know how we endorse. We endorse by proposing and by seconding. Because everything that you have discussed, we are going to compile them, and I believe the leaders will also be given that message. So a proposer is there. Your name? John Jilawi from Kisumu. John Jilawi from Kisumu County. Do I allow you when you are sitting together, or I allow another lady somewhere? Yes?
Second, Rosemary Ongonga from Siaya County.
Rosemary Ongonga from Siaya County. Have you written down the proposal and the... You want to oppose? You see, it has been proposed and seconded. So the third one... Okay, so... So, what we have discussed here today is the voice of the Lake Region farmers. Both women, both men, and youth inclusive. Now, we want to end this session, and we only have 7 minutes to 2. Actually, leo hata tumeextend sana. Tutafanya namna hii. Najua hapa tuko na farmers from Siaya County, from Kisumu County, Nyamira, Kisii, Homa Bay and Migori. Tutakuwa na photo session. Wale watu wametoka Kisumu County wanapigwa picha yao, hiyo grupu yao. Wa Siaya grupu yao, namna hiyo. Alafu tutakuwa na grupu moja ya sisi wote. Hata mimi ambaye sijatoka hiyo county pia nitapata opportunity ya kuonekana kwa hiyo photo. Si ni kweli? Tutakuwa na hiyo. Aya, alafu after that tutakuwa na interview. Two youth, preferably a male and a female. Already niliona Janice was to give an interview, and now a gentleman who is a youth. Alafu mama. You only limit to 2 youth and a male and a female. 4 people. Chairlady wa hapa. Chairlady nilikuwa nimemwambia atapeana interview. Na mzee ni nani atapeana interview? Chairlady and 2 youth. Yes? Sawa, mtapanga hiyo. With that, thank you very much. Tuliombewa na nani tukianza? Sasa tutaombewa na mzee sasa tukifunga. Ngoja, just wait. Si ni vizuri tukuwe gender sensitive. Tuliombewa na mama, sasa tuombewe na mzee wakati wa kufunga. Na mwenye ataomba atapewa ruhusa na chairman wa Lake Region, kwa sababu nataka kumwalika hapa awaambie asanti, ama inaitwa vote of thanks, ni asanti. Awaambie asanti, na kama kuna jambo anataka kuwaambia tukimaliza mkutano awaambie, alafu tuombe, alafu tuende tukule lunch, alafu tutakutana siku ingine Mwenyezi Mungu akipenda. Karibu wanachacha. Hawaja register. Nani anafaa kuregister? Ndio tuombe tuende tukakule.